What the most dangerous thing you could do was speak truth to power, not with a sword, not with rebellion, but with words. Words so clear, so fearless, so unbending, that even an emperor trembled. This is the story of Saint Hilary of Poitiers, the bishop who stood alone against a world gone wrong, the teacher who refused to rewrite truth to please kings, the exile who turned punishment into victory. He lived in the 4th century, a time when Christianity had survived persecution, only to face a new danger, not violence from outside, but corruption from within. False teaching spread. Powerful bishops twisted doctrine, and an emperor demanded that everyone agree. Agree or be removed. Agree or be exiled. Agree or be silenced. Most agreed, but one man did not. Hilary. He was not born a Christian. He was not raised in Scripture. He did not grow up in the church. He found truth by searching, and once he found it, he would never betray it. Not for comfort, not for position, not even for safety. He would be mocked, removed from office, dragged across the empire, left alone in foreign lands. But he would not bend, because some voices are raised not to win arguments, but to protect truth itself. If you love stories of courage, conviction, and unshakable faith, like this video so more people can discover saints who change history, comment below where you're watching from, or share a time you had to stand for truth, and subscribe, because stories like this are not just history. They are reminders that courage still matters today. This is the story of Saint Hilary of Poitiers, the bishop who defied an emperor, the exile who defeated heresy, the voice that refused to be silenced. And it begins with a young man searching for truth in a world full of noise. Long before Hilary stood before emperors and councils, before exile and controversy, there was simply a young man trying to understand the world. Hilary was born around the year 310 AD in Poitiers, a Roman city in what is now France. At that time, the Roman Empire was changing. Christianity was no longer legal. Churches were rising. Bishops were gaining influence. Yet in many homes, old Roman traditions still lived beside the new faith. Hilary's family was noble and educated, but not Christian. They followed the old Roman ways, respectful to gods, proud of culture, loyal to tradition. From childhood, Hilary was trained in literature, rhetoric, and philosophy. He learned how to argue, how to persuade, how to think sharply and speak clearly. He was intelligent, curious, always questioning. While other boys were satisfied with entertainment or ambition, Hilary wanted meaning. He read the writings of philosophers. He studied the nature of existence. He asked questions that disturbed comfortable answers. Where does life come from? What is truth? Who is God? The old Roman gods did not satisfy him. They felt like stories, not answers. Philosophers offered theories, but no certainty. Hilary was searching for something real, something solid enough to build his life upon. Then one day, he encountered Scripture. Perhaps a Christian friend shared it. Perhaps curiosity led him to a church gathering. The story has been told differently by historians, but what matters is this. When Hilary read the words, "I am who I am," God's name revealed to Moses. Something shifted inside him. This was not myth, not poetry, not theory. This was a God who simply is. Hilary continued reading. He discovered the Gospel of John. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He stopped, reread it, and again, a God who enters history, a God who speaks, a God who becomes flesh. This was what his heart had been seeking. Slowly, carefully, Hilary studied Christian teaching. He listened to priests. He questioned believers. He compared Scripture with philosophy. And piece by piece, the puzzle completed itself. Truth had a name, Christ. When Hilary finally chose baptism, it was not a sudden emotional decision. It was a result of a long, honest search. And because he had searched deeply, his faith became unshakable. He married. He had a daughter. He lived as a respected citizen of Poitiers. Yet even in family life, something was clear. Hilary did not treat faith as a private hobby. He studied Scripture daily. He prayed. He lived with integrity. He spoke gently but firmly when truth was at stake. People noticed. In those days, bishops were often chosen not by ambition, but by recognition. A community would look at a man and say, "He lives the gospel. He must lead us." And so, when the Bishop of Poitiers died, the people turned to Hilary. He resisted. He was married. He had no desire for power. He knew leadership meant conflict. He knew truth-telling attracted enemies. But the people insisted, and the clergy agreed. Finally, Hilary accepted, not because he wanted to rule, but because obedience to God mattered more than personal comfort. And so Hilary of Poitiers became a bishop. At first, his work was peaceful. He taught scripture. He cared for the poor. He guided his flock gently. He wrote hymns and prayers. His church flourished. But far beyond Poitiers, a storm was forming. A teaching had spread across the empire, Arianism, claiming that Christ was not fully God, but a created being. Many bishops accepted it, and the emperor supported it. Agreement meant peace. Disagreement meant exile. Most chose peace. Hilary would choose truth. But that story was still ahead. For now, the philosopher had become a believer. The seeker had found truth. The quiet teacher had become a shepherd. And unknowingly, he had stepped onto a road that would lead him to stand before emperors, face exile, and change the course of church history. The next stage of his life was not shaped by comfort, but by courage. When Hilary became Bishop of Poitiers, he expected to guide souls, teach scripture, and care for the poor. He did not expect to become a warrior. But the church of his time was torn by a dangerous idea, a teaching that threatened the very heart of Christianity. It was called Arianism. Arius, a priest from the East, had begun teaching that Jesus Christ was not fully God. He claimed Christ was created by the Father, greater than humans, but not equal to God. To many, it sounded reasonable. To philosophers, it felt logical. To emperors, it promised unity. But Hilary saw what was truly at stake. If Christ was not fully God, then salvation was uncertain. If Christ was not equal to the Father, then worship of Christ was idolatry. If Christ was not God, then Christianity collapsed. Most bishops chose silence. Some accepted the new teaching to avoid trouble. Others feared exile. The Emperor Constantius wanted religious peace, and Arianism seemed the easiest path to keep the empire united. But Hilary had not searched for truth all his life only to compromise it now. In councils and letters, Hilary spoke clearly. Christ is true God from true God. He wrote treatises explaining scripture. He debated Arian bishops. He encouraged priests to stand firm. He warned his people that peace without truth was not peace at all. His voice grew strong, and strong voices attract enemies. Soon complaints reached the emperor. There's a bishop in Gaul causing division. He refuses to follow imperial policy. He challenges other bishops. Hilary was summoned to a council controlled by Arian leaders. The plan was simple: pressure him to sign a statement supporting Arian teaching. If he refused, remove him. The hall was full. Powerful bishops sat beside imperial officials. Soldiers guarded the doors. The atmosphere was heavy with threat. Hilary stood alone. He read the statement. One sentence denied Christ's full divinity. Hilary lifted his eyes and said calmly, "I cannot sign what contradicts the gospel." Murmurs filled the room. Pressure increased. Arguments rose. Promises of peace were offered. Threats followed. Still, Hilary refused. And so the emperor chose the final weapon: exile. Hilary was stripped of his position and sent far from his people, to Phrygia in Asia Minor. It was meant to silence him, to break him, to isolate him. But exile became his greatest pulpit. Far from home, Hilary met Eastern bishops who also resisted Arianism. Together they studied scripture deeply. Together they wrote defenses of the faith. Hilary composed his greatest work, On the Trinity, a powerful explanation of who Christ truly is. Letters traveled secretly across the empire. Encouragement reached persecuted priests. Hope reached frightened believers. The emperor had removed Hilary's body from Gaul, but could not remove his voice from the church. Years passed. political winds changed. The Arian hold weakened. Eventually, Hilary was allowed to return home. When he entered Poitiers again, people wept with joy. They welcomed their shepherd home. They had kept the faith because he had taught them well. Hilary resumed his ministry with renewed strength. He continued writing, continued teaching, continued guiding other bishops. He helped restore Orthodox belief across Gaul. He reconciled communities divided by heresy. He trained young clergy in scripture and courage. He did not seek revenge on those who exiled him. He did not demand power. He simply returned to his work, teaching truth. But the battle had left marks. His body aged, his energy weakened. His years in harsh travel and exile had taken their toll. Still he prayed. Still he wrote. Still he shepherded. In time, Hilary sensed his journey nearing its end. He gathered his clergy. He encouraged them to remain steadfast. He reminded them, truth is not decided by emperors. It is revealed by God. Around the year 367 A.D., Hilary of Poitiers died peacefully among his people. No miracles of fire or thunder marked his passing, but the church remembered, because one man had stood when many bent. One bishop had refused to sell truth for comfort. One teacher had defended Christ when Christ's identity was under attack. And so the church gave him a lasting title, Doctor of the Church, the Athanasius of the West. His feast day is January 13th. He is patron of those who defend truth under pressure, students of theology, bishops facing difficult leadership, anyone tempted to compromise faith for peace. St. Hilary's message still echoes. You do not need an army to defend truth. You need courage. You need clarity. You need Christ. And sometimes, standing alone is the holiest place to stand.